Hi there, it's Kathy Hamrick again with Country Road Stampers. Today I'm going to show you a real quick way to get a unique look using vellum. I don't use vellum a lot, but I saw a couple tutorials online and I thought, yep, I need to do this and try this. So I'm just going to show you basically how to do this part. I will tell you that the other things I used on this card is the Designer Series paper, which is from Have a Cuppa on the bottom. And the top one is Going Places, and I don't know if you can see on there, but it kind of looks like almost like a script in the background. And then I've also got the Have a Cuppa here as the background, just to give this flower a little more pop. So what you're going to do is you're going to stamp the image, which I've used the Birthday Blooms, which I've been using that a lot lately. I've used the large flower image. I've stamped it using our archival black ink. Now when you stamp this, you can also do stays on, but I use this with good success, but I would recommend you heat it. Just be careful when you heat it because you're going to stamp on vellum. So that's already done, so I wanted it dry so I didn't have to worry about anything smearing when I went to make this video, so mine's already good and dry. But you just stamp it on the vellum and make sure you have something underneath you like a piercing mat to give you a good firm area or good support. I've got all this extra paper here so it doesn't go crazy on me. So you just stamp it, make sure it's dry, but I stamped it on a piercing mat underneath here to give me a good firm background. Then once it's dry, you're going to turn this over and work on the back side. And I'm going to take my stylist, and this is actually one of them from the scoring tool that I have, and there is a large end that you can see here, and there's a small end. I have more success using the large end unless you have a very small detailed area like you have here on some of these stems. You might want to use the small one, but for a larger area I'll use the larger ball tip. And all you're going to do, remember you're working on the back side, is just start coloring. By coloring, I mean when you just do this, it turns it white. So you can do it a circular motion, you can do a back and forth motion, whatever you do. I will tell you that you're going to want to stick to a fairly small area because this gets hard on the fingers after a while because you have to use good solid pressure to push down on this in order for it to get the right look you want. And then see, it starts popping forward. I don't know if you can see there that it actually has a 3D effect, and it turns it white. So you just keep coloring. Now I have one that's already completed because this is a lot of flower, plus there's a couple little flowers, and I really didn't think you wanted to watch me color all of that. So I'll show you what I have finished. And that is this one right here. And let's see if you can kind of tell that that is a dimensional. You can just kind of fill it. It just looks like we've painted it with white paint. I just love this look. But I didn't want to do the leaves. I wanted them different, and I wanted the center different. So what I did was I flipped it over again. And I'm actually going to use a darker ink than what I used on this card. And I'm using Mossy Meadow, and I'm just going to color in the leaves. So this one will probably show up pretty dark. And you want to stay in the lines unless you're going to cut this image out. So I'm just getting that all colored in. Then for the center of the flower, I want it to kind of pop, and I want to do a little bit of highlighting. So to do that highlighting, I'm going to show you what I did. Now see, you can see how that's already turning nice and green. It just shows good color. Okay, remember again, I'm working on the back. Now, I don't know where my Wisteria Wonder marker is. I didn't really look hard for it, to tell you the truth. I just wanted to get something to get this done. So, I'm just going to go in and color the center where the little, I don't know, if I call them one thing, it'll be another. So, this is the center of the flower, and I'm coloring that the purple and even putting some little lines on this. So you can see how that stands out a little bit different. And then you can see there's quite a bit of shading. Now you might have trouble seeing that shading on the back after you've colored here. But I pretty much know where it's at, and I'm just going to look at the one I have done already and kind of see how that highlights. And it doesn't do a lot. So if you really want a lot more highlight, then you can do that on the front. But you can try it on the back if you just want a soft highlight. I'm just going to leave it on the front so you see more of an accent, so that it looks like you actually had some shading. Anywhere that you want more color, you could work on the front, but where you just want a soft color, you can work on the back. And see, this worked. If I was using a darker marker and the even Elegant Eggplant, Perfect Plum, they would show up more than what this did because this is such a light color. But you can see how that looks. I just think this is such a wow technique without a whole lot of work. So remember, you're going to stamp your image first in a permanent ink. So I used the Archival Black. Make sure it's good and dry before you start working. Turn it over and take your stylus and use either the large ball end, which is my preference, or the small one. Just don't push too hard because you can rip your paper easily if you use the small one. And color in your areas. Then when you want to add some shading, you can do that on the back. If it doesn't show up enough for you, then add it on the front. Just remember so you don't smear your ink back and forth which way you're doing it. Then when it's all finished, I just backed mine with the DSP, finished up a little bit with some of the glitz, and I just love this. And I believe, yes, I took a little bit of the Wink of Stella and I put some clear. I think you can see how that shimmers a little bit there on the centers here and on some of the shading, just to give it a little bit of glitter. I just love that Wink of Stella pen. There's something else. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you for stopping by. See ya.